What's going on? Boys, today we're talking a bit about Enneagram 3. Not a comprehensive look at Enneagram 3, but more a discussion or some observations on threeisms. Partially because I am not the best Enneagram person, and partially, more importantly, through the lens of my life, because I want to do more vlog shit, but I feel obligated to produce typology content. Anyway, my Enneagram normal is 5W6. I've been on and off working on figuring out my tri-type for the last year or so, and while 5 is absolutely there, my two most common tri-types are 593 and 582. Now, using multiple tests over a long time, I'm still unsure about 9 or 8, but I am certain it's 3, not 2. And I think the heart, the 3, is higher than the gut, the 8 or the 9. And I'm establishing that because what I think are the 3 traits, not 8, have not just been there for a long time, but have become amplified in the last 2 years. And those traits and their amplification are what I want to talk about, because they are very different from my 5 drives. So, because of the way I was raised, I tend to tie self-esteem to material and social success. And the reason I think that drive is more of a 3 thing than an 8 thing is because that self-esteem has nothing to do with independence or the ultimate achievement of strength or power or anything like that. Strength or power or whatever in this framework would be the means, not the ends. And material and social success are intertwined. Those are both the ends. But social success, being loved, is the ultimate end. But that social success, that love, doesn't feel real without material success. So let's say I were to make $1 million. That wouldn't make me feel good inside. At least not without or at the cost of social love, social admiration, social acceptance. And that's a pretty standard, pretty popular idea. Money doesn't mean anything if people don't love you. But where it gets confusing for me is the inversion of that also feels unsatisfying. Let's say everyone loves you, but you are a broke, schlubby bum. That situation still feels bad, even though, in theory, social programming, you're supposed to feel good. So I'm in a weird spot in which my self-esteem relies on your love that I earned primarily through material financial success. And this is maybe in contrast with the 5 elements, because I can look at that and know it's nonsense. That makes no sense. In fact, even if I were to achieve those 2 ends in the way I want to, that love would be shoddy because it would be founded on material financial gain, not moral anything, not charitable anything, nothing. No sense. You could provide me admiration for my writing, and it would feel bad to me because I'm making no money with my writing. A number of you are very kind to me regarding my videos, and I appreciate that. But these videos are not producing anything tangible, so I feel like I have to apologize, like I'm cheating or deceiving you. And even though that makes no sense on any level, that's how I feel, and it is agitating. Particularly because that feeling has life effects. There have been 2 relationship availabilities dropped in my lap the last few months, and I have spit on both of them. Now, part of that is because I really didn't like them, did not see a future with them, so why start anything in the first place? But another part of it, a part I'm becoming concerned about, is feeling like I'm not worth anything. And this is another confusing element, contradiction, and split. Because on the soul level, I feel I am worth everything. I serve all purposes. I can look at all my accomplishments, personality traits, and feel good about myself. But then, on another level, I'm not sure how to categorize social plus financial plus material plus whatever else isn't concise and doesn't cover everything, but whatever that category is, that category, that level, I feel slash have been feeling worthless. I was working my ass off, doing lots of shit work for no money. Can't publish a book, can't grow a channel, can't get into a PhD program, which was a huge blow. Let me talk about that for a second. The degree to which not getting into a PhD program hurt surprised me. And this ties back into the 3 thing, because it wasn't just the not getting into the program that hurt. It was the way I didn't get into the program that hurt. People say when you get into college, you won't feel so special. Didn't happen. I still outperformed people. Then people said the same thing about masters. Still didn't happen. I still outperformed people. But then, when I compete for the PhD spot, I'm competing with people who are from a different planet, basically. Not just academically, but also, maybe more importantly, financially, socially. Multimillionaires, heads of companies, entrepreneurs, successful authors, successful artists. Some older than I am, some younger than I am, both humiliating in different ways. I was a nothing, and I lost like a nothing. If I had never met any of my competitors and just didn't make it in, I wouldn't feel half as bad. But the fact I saw the people weighed against me, and I was found severely lacking, stung. And I think that has something to do with 3 instincts, because it wasn't losing the race that bothered me. It was looking weak and losing that bothered me. Feeling like a loser standing around winners is what bothered me. That feels like a trap, because if you try to compare yourself to every person, you are going to lose something somehow, even if it's a small loss. And those small losses will add up. Not to mention a big loss. Getting just blown the fuck out by your betters. And even when you compare yourself to others and win, it doesn't feel like a win. Because your superiors, the people you can't beat, are out there. Just their theoretical existence is threatening. And I brought up the turning down relationships thing because I suspect that subconscious threat might be affecting me in less noticeable ways, not just feeling distressed all the time. Because I can trick myself, or could trick myself, in those instances saying, well, I don't like them anyway. And that is true, but if the real reason is feeling undeserving, then at what point are you deserving? The answer isn't a, at this point, I will be deserving thing. And it certainly isn't a learn to accept yourself thing either. People with X issues try to tell people with Y issues just to stop having Y issues all the time, and then get frustrated and make excuses when people with Y issues tell people with X issues just to stop having X issues. This is something that, for me, therapy helped manage but did not make go away. It's similar to the comparing yourself to people thing. Everyone says don't compare yourself to people, and you can try not comparing yourself to people, but it feels like a cope because you know your betters are still out there. You're just burying your head in the sand. You can realize being in an imaginary competition is hurting you, but pretending you aren't in that competition is also hurting you. Do you want to lose trying or lose not trying? I think the fixation on competition and output, particularly in others' perceptions, is a means of distinguishing threes from eights. Eights seem to say, as long as I am X enough, you can't touch me, I don't care. Do whatever you want, think whatever you want. Threes seem to say, I am more X than you. Or, if I'm not more X than you, then I am more Y and Z and A than you, and I'll bet I can be more X than you. Please praise me, oh God. There's an extreme and distinguishing superficiality there. Example: soon I will be moving up and making more money than I ever have. But it'll be a little less than they promised. Not as egregious as last time, but still less. And I can't prove it because I'm stupid and didn't get paperwork and trusted them. And it'll still be good money. And I did negotiate a makeup kind of thing, so it's not that bad, but I still feel stupid. And I still feel like I look stupid. I do look stupid. What's happening right now is what I did not pursue the other job over. Almost the exact same thing on a smaller scale. And I can equalize it as much as I want. It's still getting smacked in the face once, saying that's not going to happen again, and then getting smacked in the face again. That makes me feel bad and insecure, especially considering the money I'll be making will be about what a mid-level coder makes. Not even a high-level coder. Superficial title-wise, I will be an executive director making money equal to a standard-ass programmer. And that's assuming I don't get double-dicked in the next short while. I think humiliation is a big part of this, because it's fired up my compensation array. When I was Mr. Giggy Schlubby, there were a number of things I didn't give a shit about, titles included, because I felt I was so low on the totem pole of life, I wasn't even fighting. Now that I feel I have a dog in the fight, that itty bitty we're gonna pay you a little less thing made me feel threatened as a human. Or as an ego. As an ego. So to compensate, not even to anyone else, internally, I started caring about my title more. I started strategizing ways to support people while beating them. Started lifting again. going for hypertrophy, one, because it looks better, two, because I am still emotionally and neurologically afraid of heavy ass weight, and I am afraid of my fear of heavy ass weight. And this is all to compensate egotistically for something that in the big picture doesn't matter. Or it shouldn't matter because it does matter. For someone else, it wouldn't matter. For me, it does, even though it shouldn't. I feel I'm undeserving of acceptance and love unless I can pay for it with money and social currency. There's an Enneagram 3 video of, I think, a preacher talking about threes and the way once you get them to realize they can be loved for themselves, not just their output, they'll break down crying. And that would be a beautiful realization if it were true, but you cannot escape the human leaderboards and their effects on your life. Maybe you can change how you feel about it a little bit, but you can't change reality. But the reason I'm discussing Enneagram and all these things through the Enneagram lens is I think Enneagram is a person's reality. As in, I'm talking about all these things as if they are the one and only reality, but if you took a 4, what they view as fundamental reality would be absolutely different. Not just their feelings about it, but what they think base reality is. I'm starting to ramble now. Enneagram is important. I locked in 3 in my tri-type and I'm trying to understand it. It seems 3s and 8s use similar things to get to different places for different reasons. And we are realizing we are riding the cope carousel. Eternally inferior. Going around and around, trying to outdo shadows of people because you feel threatened by shadows of better people. But that about rippity wraps this one up. I hope you enjoyed watching, because I certainly enjoyed making it. Like if you enjoyed, because it helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't, because we do this shit sometimes. And comment your thoughts, because I love hearing from you. Info on 3s. What you got? Thanks again for watching, everybody. Really, we have a lot of fun on this channel. So much fun, in fact, you can spin it around really fast until you're dizzy and you fall over from all the distressing spinning fun. So much we have on this channel, and I look forward to doing this with you guys again in the future.